You just heard a C major sixth chord. Major sixth chords are normally written in notation with a number 6 next to the chord letter. You may also see them referred to as an added sixth chord or a triad with an added sixth. It is worth knowing that a sixth is sometimes referring to a first inversion chord, with its third in the bass and the root a sixth above it. This is how it's referred to in classical music today, also called a chord of the sixth. How do we construct the major sixth chord? Chords are created by using notes from a scale. Major chords are created with 3 notes from the major scale, first, third, and fifth. To create a major sixth chord, we take these 3 major chord notes and add the 6th note from the major scale. Let's clarify this with an example. The C major scale has the following notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. To create a C major chord, we take the first, third, and fifth, which gives us C, E, and G. The 6th note in the scale is A, so in order to create our C major sixth chord, we take the C major chord notes and add the 6th from the scale as a 4th note. This means that C major sixth has the notes C, E, G, and A. Let's have a listen to C major and C major sixth played after one another to appreciate the difference. Major sixth chords have an ambiguous nature that can be hard to pin down. They can add a layer of complexity to your chord progressions by not pulling the listener as strongly as a 7th chord would. The mild tension and fragility they provide is not used as widely in popular music as the 7th chords are. You are more likely to find them in jazz, especially where the melody plays the chord's root note. Major sixth chords can also be awkward to play on the guitar. How can we use the major sixth chords? Despite not being as widely used as 7th chords, major sixth chords are actually quite versatile. Generally speaking, you can replace any major triad in your chord progressions with major sixth chords. For example, in a major/Ionian key, chords 1, 4, and 5 can become major sixth chords without using notes from outside of the scale. In minor/Aeolian, this would be chords 3, 6, and 7. Let's start with a simple progression using all major chords. Please note that all of our examples will be in the key of C major. Listen to how the progression changes when we swap in the major sixth chords. Before we move to the next chord progression, I'd like to thank you for choosing to watch this video. We rely on your kind support to keep the channel running. If you're able to help us, we now have channel memberships and super thanks available. These allow us to keep on making songwriting content that is available to everyone. Click on thanks and join below this video to find out more. In our first progression, we used an entirely major progression, but you can use major sixths within any sort of progression. It is worth noting how many major sixth chords are already in your progression or song, as repeatedly using them will weaken their impact and effectiveness. This is generally true of any chord that isn't a basic triad. Here is the very popular 1, 5, 6, 4 progression with 2 major sixths. See how it colours the sound of the progression. Songwriters will often replace the 7 diminished chord in a major key with a major triad in order to make their progressions less dissonant and tense. This is called a flat 7 chord. If you want to learn more about this, then check out our video in the description below. This flat 7 chord can also be turned into a major 6th chord. Here it is in the second half of the progression. Also see how we move from the standard 1 chord to the 1 major 6th. This is an easy way to create interest when a single chord is played for a while. We mentioned the ambiguity with major 6ths earlier, so let's explore where that comes from. C major 6th has the notes C, E, G and A. A minor 7th has the notes A, C, E and G. You can see that these two chords have the same notes. This is always true of the 1 major 6th and the 6 minor 7th chords in a major key. If we played the first inversion of the 6 minor 7th, then it would be the same as a C major 6th. You may like this ambiguity, so don't dismiss it without experimenting. Trust your ear as to what sounds good or bad to you. Let's see an example of 1 major 6th and 6 minor 7th next to each other in a progression. What do you think of the sound it creates? Check out the playlist on screen now for more chord progressions to use your major 6th chords with.